allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All board members are present in the accounting forum. We're all here.
We're all here.
We're all here. Okay.
Well, all right, but no more speakers. It's after 6.
All right. We need approval of minutes from the last meeting, September 18th.
I'm fine with them. I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I second the motion.
Okay, done deal. Go ahead, Jimmy. It's on you. Already. Too quick.
Some of you may have noticed the videos on the YouTube. Some of us don't go there. First, let me alert you to the fact that persons posting these videos are not news media and have not got the permission of anyone who appeared in the videos. They were originally allowed sanction and approval to record the fire district meeting, as they said that they could not hear what was going on. And they've also posted these representing themselves by their email name as affiliated with the Yucca fire. This is also untrue. While we allow the video, already said that, skip the paragraph. This has escalated to the point of getting into the invasion of privacy laws by publication on the internet. Using of the video or any other requested information other than for personal information or to cause harm or defame an entity or another individual is, if not illegal, at least uncivil. And we have asked for legal counsel to come back with something to tell us about this. 2, we have received the hard copy information from our application to ADEQ in July of this year and from the AAC. This is the regulatory agencies for the state concerning controlled burns, burning your wood piles and tree trimmings and this stuff. This allows us to, again, issue burn permits. Several persons, including some that are in this room, have ignored the rules, which have not changed and still are burning garbage. Some still have no permits, and some still burn without calling in or burn at inappropriate times. Citations will be issued and the fire extinguished with all the noise and lights, as that is what everyone seems to think we should be doing with them. As it is always stated on the permits, please call before burning and don't burn garbage. Those of you outside the fire district, still as a courtesy, call in and we will use the proper precautions as for the water and wind. 3. In September, we had 20 incident call sheets. 78 man-hours were used for these calls. 9 of these were medical. 1 was a brush fire. 3 were motor vehicle accidents, 1 with a fire. 2 were persons assisted. 1 was a motor vehicle fire. 4 other fires or smoke investigations were run. 1 was involving a structure. 1 mutual aid call was run. We sent tender support to Desert Hills for the pilot fire. On that call, 3 units responded. 2 were canceled as they got the water source that they had lost because of the power outage. Got it again. They got water and they were able to take care of the fire. Number 4, the basic fire class is now completed, and now those who are interested in further fire or EMS training must decide where they're going to continue. We will be resuming continuing education or refresher classes based on the FF1 essentials in-house, probably in the next week or 10 days. We have 6 people who passed the basic fire class, 7 took it. The 7th was unable to complete because of medical at that time, but they did explain the classroom portions of it, and so they have all of the information. They just weren't able to do the practical portions. 5, and there was pictures of them as you came in the door, if you haven't seen them on the way in. We are still, again, still pursuing part-time paid and volunteer support issues. This will continue until we get staffing. Number 6, volunteer staff are still sorting and cataloging forms and data, some from 20, 25 years ago. Many parts were missing, or some are no longer required by law of retention and are being weeded out. This will take a long time. There's lots of boxes of old files. Number 7, the water storage tank at Station 2 has now bid. We're now waiting for engineering data before the installation and concrete work can be put in place. The plumbing and the tie-in to the other system will be done on a separate issue. Number 8, the generator bid came in, which was slightly above what we had put in to spend, has been sent back to the contractor, and they're going to come back and see if we can get the dirt work or fill work done on an alternate contract. Number 9, the corrected window screen bid is in. The parts have been ordered, and when they arrive, they will be installed. Number 10, internal projects within the department. We have been putting together papers for each one. A lot of them are little tiny things that individuals can do. Some need to be bid out. And the champions for these are to bring in the qualified estimates and advise the board as to where or when they're going to proceed. Any volunteers wishing to take on each one of these as a champion needs to contact me, and I will give them the preliminary paperwork so they can begin the project. That's what I have.
Can I speak on number 3?
I'll let you speak over. Go ahead. I'll stay on that.
Number 3, the calls for September. On the Sunday, there was 3 people injured in a car wreck out here on Butch Cassidy and something else out in the middle of nowhere. Once again, the people from the city are coming out with their cars and they're going really, really fast down roads. And they don't look. They're out of the city and they drive really, really fast. One thing, please, when you're going down the dirt roads that you know you're on and it's a weekend, watch out for these people. Trust me, they drive really, really fast. The Bronco that was involved had a roll cage. The fire department had to cut them out because the roll cage collapsed. That's how hard they hit. Y'all don't want to be involved in that? Please. They're not going to look out for you. Please look out for them. If you're going down and there's a dirt road that you know people like to play on, look for dust. We all know the rules. They don't. Trust me, they don't. In that same incident, they had, what, 2 helicopters out there because one broke?
We ended up with 3.
Helicopter.
Yeah.
The
And the
one
fourth
came
one
here
here.
because of the
So,
first one in was
all
able-
of our equipment, they had the trucks out there, the guys out there, called the reserves in here to land a helicopter here and to accept the ambulance that came from there to helicopter the people to Vegas. At the same time, I'm looking, David and Robert took the fire truck from way out in the woods back around to the pilot to help work on that fire. At the same time they did, yeah,
One
at the
was at
same
9,
time they
one
did
was at
that,
11.
It was all multi.
Monty and Errol, wherever Errol is, Errol's in the back, Monty and Errol and 2 other people, Calvin and myself, took both of our tankers to the pilot. The 550, the new truck, was out here receiving the helicopter. Every piece of equipment was out of the station. The chief's car, the chief's utility car, transported 2 victims to the helicopters. So it taxed this department. You guys, I don't care which side of the fence you all land on. Everybody, front row, back row, I don't care where you land. I'm serious. You guys should be really proud of this department. If not every day, for at least that. They worked their butts off. These guys came back to the station. They were whipped. They were just sitting, leaning against the stops out here. They were whipped. That's all I got. But I really think they worked their butts off that day.
And that was good. I mean, it was.
That's all my big mouth has to say.
Okay. All right, we're in correspondence. You got anything?
Yeah, we got one at the end after I printed those up. Last meeting, Don, is he in yet?
No.
Okay, Don brought up that he had talked to O'Donoghue about Golden Valley working with us or working down here, taking over the fire department. However, rumor that you may have heard. So we had one of the auxiliary people contact Mr. Chief O'Donoghue, and he sent back a nice letter. I'm going to go ahead and read it because this is something that it really affects all of us. And it says, dear so-and-so, thank you for contacting the Golden Valley Fire regarding the comments made at the Yucca Fire District Board meetings. As with many rumors, there is a hint of fact contained herein. I did speak to Mr. Guthrie a few weeks ago regarding his concerns with the Yucca Fire District and potential services from the Golden Valley Fire District that currently staffs 3 full-time fire stations with firefighter and paramedics 24 hours a day. Mr. Guthrie spoke of issues within the district that causes them as taxpayers great concern. Mr. Guthrie never represented himself as an authorized representative of the Yucca Fire District. After my meeting with Mr. Guthrie and a handful of citizens, I then spoke to Chief Espinosa at Desert Hills Fire and then Chief Todd at Yucca Fire. This was a fact-finding mission to determine if Golden Valley Fire could help our neighbors to the south, which includes Yucca Fire District and their community served. Chief Todd and I had a good conversation and will continue such dialogue soon to see if Golden Valley Fire Department District can assist both the Yucca Fire District and the citizens that they truly care about. Golden Valley Fire is willing to assist the Yucca Fire Department in any way we can to augment our services, assist in the training, and to help Chief Todd when requested within board-approved parameters when it comes to the fiduciary responsibilities of district policy. As the fire chief for Golden Valley Fire District, I will also answer questions from the general public when asked, which Mr. Guthrie did. My follow-up meeting with Chief Todd highlights the need for increased interaction between the Yucca Fire District and the Golden Valley Fire, which will bring improved responses and mutual aid. Yucca Fire District is a primarily volunteer organization, and if the community wants full-time 24-hour services, they will need to step up and make that request with the clear understanding that that kind of service requires financial backing. At first blush, Chief Todd is providing all the services he can within the limited budget provided and supported by the citizens within its taxing district. If Chief Todd wants another look as overlapping services or a joint venture with Golden Valley Fire, I am always willing to begin that conversation. In the future, please direct all comments to me to ensure you get a timely response.
Is that it? Any correspondence?
Well, we're gonna read that, I might as well read this one, from the Kenyon Pines Training People.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, let me hear the part of correspondence, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what up.
Bear with me. Somebody makes this print real small. I wanted to, this is from Daniel Zandelvit. Zandelvit?
Lieutenant.
Oh. I will demit to David.
Okay. He's on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're in reports. Bonnie?
Yeah. Is she finally here?
Yeah, we're here. You're up. I got you, then I'm have David.
That's
That'll
what that
be
thing
doing
right
part
there
of
is
this.
for.
Okay.
Talk to it.
Just on Halloween business. Halloween party is October 27th, Saturday. Doors open at 3. I'm basically requesting $150 in funds to help with any odds and ends needed for the Halloween party.
Okay, well, that'd be basically the same as it was last year,
Yeah.
Fire prevention, fire,
Yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right, gotcha.
that.
Yeah.
I have flyers posted around town, flyer in the station, flyers outside. There'll be flyers posted out in the Buckeye area, which I need to give to TJ, for the trunk and treat. Did I give them to you? Okay. For the trunk and treat will start hopefully at like 5 o'clock, and then from the trunk and treat, they'll get on the hayride, they'll go around town, they'll trick or treat, they'll come back, and they'll go home. Everybody will be happy little campers. That's it.
Almost did one.
All right, David, it's on you.
This is a letter that I received, well, actually, the fire department received from Pinyon Pine Fire. It's addressed to the chief, and I'm going to read it. So I want to take a minute to thank you and let you know how well the members of your department performed during the training over the past 2 weekends. First, a thank you to your board of directors and the chief in supporting the members during the 4 days of training. Your department members were greatly excited and eager to learn. All members showed great effort and performed well on the written final exam, all passing with the 80% or better. I submitted the final roster to the state today for the Arizona State Fire Training Certificate for the class. It may take up to 8 weeks before I receive these certifications from the state to hand them out. Below are the names of your department's members getting state certifications, meeting all the requirements both in the written exam and practical skills. Rick Techman, Laura Techman, Robert Smead, Calvin Murphy, April Krisman, and Jesse Goodwin. Please let your board, our fire board, and members of your community know just how well these members of your department performed during the training and their drive to learn. Thank you, Daniel Vandervillette, Pinyon Pine Fire District Training Officer. So anyway, that class turned out really good. And in continuing on the educational things, Pinyon Pine Fire is also holding an extrication class. It's going to be held next month, and don't know the exact date yet. It costs $65 for each student, plus the meals, and there will be a certificate issued upon completion. It's 2 12-hour days.
That'd be a state cert?
I assume it's a state cert. I don't know. It's a purification for extrication purposes, on equipment, stuff like that.
How much is it?
The course itself is $260, and then the 4 personnel for 2 days would be $80 as far as meals go, so a total of $340. And there'll be 4 people going to that: Robert, Calvin, Jesse, and April.
That,
$340 apiece.
can you run through the prices again? I lost
Just giving you the whole rest.
$260 for the course, $65 times 4.
Oh, I see, okay.
All right, so basically we're looking at $340 for all 4.
Yes, sir.
And is that food too? The
Yes,
$10?
That's everything.
Cool.
Okay. What, all right.
And I went up there that first day, and they have a really excellent station up there, and I sat in on the classes and stuff, and their instructors are very proficient in their duties.
And that's reinforcing what you guys already do. Because you
Yeah,
are.
Yeah,
it's
a lot of us have already worked, a lot of them have already worked extrication things with equipment, but this gets a certification, the actual paperwork on it. Now, unfortunately, this is to clarify a statement I received in the mail from Jack Ludgerson concerning my status as a fire instructor. The statement: a fire department that has been trained by certified instructors, not individuals posing, and then in parentheses, a copy of David Todd's training abilities are posted on the YouTube Yucca Fire Info. He is not, never has been, and has not applied to be an adjutant instructor, out of parentheses, as an adjutant instructor. It's elected to the board, la da 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 da. I have never claimed to be an adjutant instructor. That statement is a lie, and it is subject to libel. A public apology in the form of a mail letter to everyone who received this mailer from Jack Wilkinson could be a possible solution to this situation. And this is my personal certificate for Fire Instructor 1. I have my paperwork, and I am a fire instructor, regardless of what the people out there that have these problems seem to think. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
All right. We're in old business.
Old business.
Old business.
Okay, we already took care of that one, I believe. Generator hookup.
Yep. Okay, so basically, covered all that.
Yeah, that came in after I wrote this and before I
Yep.
wrote this.
But now
I covered it over.
Okay.
Okay, we okayed that last time pending a
Yeah.
better price, and we
Yeah.
got that, okay.
All right, financial statements for September.
You reading them?
Yeah, I can't do it.
It's big enough, I can if you want. There's a lot in here.
Yes, there it is.
Okay, this is the bills paid from October 16th, 2012. Checks written, personal services, we got $1,583.50. Operations, we got $3,890.13. Administrations, liability insurance, $4,143. Total, $7,525 or $7,025.19. Repairs and maintenance, $1,812.16. Training, $850. Capital outlay is $1,100. Total amount is $16,260.98.
Yep. You can go ahead to the warrant account. You got the warrant account? Read that one out too.
Page before.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Revenues for September 2012. Expenditures for October 2012. We started out at $228,489.08. For the expenditures, $16,260.98. Beginning balance, $1,722.70. Ending balance from October 2012 is $210,505.40. Savings account, revenue for September 2012, $153.38. Beginning balance, $1,343, or 100, excuse me, 100.
Back it up. One more.
We got the beginning balance.
Ending balance of both balances.
Yep.
And your ending balance is 1 million, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, we got the ending balance is $1,343,275.83. Total both accounts is $1,553,781.23.
Okay, bills.
Yeah.
Your motion.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Pay the bills, guys.
Second motion.
All right. Approved for funding of $150 purchase items, okay. All right, I don't see any problem with this. Basically, it's gonna be for fire protection and, you know, as far as it gets concerned, fire prevention. That's basically what it's for. I see no problem with it.
I have no
You know,
problem with it.
we've done that before, and that's what it always, you know, that's where the money goes. So,
I make a motion, we accept the $150, we spend the $150.
okay,
I'll second the motion.
done deal.
Gentlemen,
Done.
can you guys speak up a little bit louder?
All right,
Talking
I'm
to
sorry.
the table and not to the crowd.
Okay, all right.
I hear you.
we were looking to approve for $150 for Halloween. What they're doing for Halloween for the kids. That money goes to literature for fire prevention and fire safety for the kids. Yeah, so, yeah, we just went in and approved that, okay?
I made the motion and Steve seconded the motion. Can you hear that?
Yeah, well, you're talking to the table.
I know, I'm sorry, man.
I'm trying to read and talk at the same time.
Let's figure real name we're used to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
All right, so that one's done. Then we got approval for that 1,512 rent and lease item.
Yep.
What you got? Item.
It's in there, and there should be another one on the table to sign if we approve it. And I don't have a problem with it. It's their page somewhere.
All right.
It's the fees for the use of the building and stuff,
Okay,
which
speak
we
up.
basically all, the item is C under new business, approval of 15-12. It's a rent lease item. Basically, anybody that wants to use any fire property, it breaks it down to individuals, groups, cash reimbursements to the fire department. If they have help from the fire department, it breaks it down how much that costs. There's, correct me if I'm wrong, there's things in there that in lieu of cash, if they buy 300 hamburgers and they use 12, the other 189 hamburgers, whatever, 208, they go to take care of the money that they would have spent to rent the fire building.
Barter system.
Yes, that's a good,
Yeah,
but it is a,
in other words, donation based or it
Yeah.
could be cash based, I mean,
Yeah.
on or donation based, okay.
and things like, the Girl Scouts don't pay, Little League doesn't pay, you know, these things are,
Yeah,
churches don't, but it's broken down in everybody, what people would have to pay, different organizations would have to pay to use the building and or the barter system through unused items. Did I represent that correctly?
We're close.
Um,
The only thing that I would say that would be different is if there's, and it's because it's the first time we've used this, there may be changes in the actual dollar amount, but there's a proviso in here that we review it in December and then resubmit it, say in January or February, in case that we find out that the $25 or $35, whatever it was here, is not adequate.
Right.
And
Okay.
we won't have a
So
history of the cost of,
in other words, they're gonna be reviewed again and.
right, they need to be
yeah.
redone every year to make sure that you stay up with the
Okay.
cost of it. But if you decide to go ahead with it today, I have a clean copy that needs signature. You guys have 30 copies. So the roller
Yeah,
is good,
okay.
so it's,
Okay, I have no problems with that, I don't, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to see it based strictly on a cash basis. I mean, donations, 'cause there's people that use this and organizations that use it, and they give us cash donations. They do. And so we have, we have to go, we can't say, okay, just because it has to be based on that, That's my main concern.
well, we can deal with that, like the American Legion. The American Legion gives $100. And then to ask them to do this is what we've written up, and things can be worked.
Yeah.
So I make a motion that we accept it,
I'll second the motion.
and that is accept item number 1500-12. And if the chief has one we can sign, I'll smudge.
those three are clean.
I have no problem with it, so we're done.
The only one you have to sign is that one. The rest of
Okay.
it is same as what you already.
Okay. I'll look at that.
Well, we take that one out and put it in
Yep.
the file. The other two are what
Yeah,
explanations of what the other parts was.
and that's what this, okay,
Right, the two that you have.
okay, all right. All right, then we're in the D, clarification Yucca fire policy. Harold, you're on.
Okay, I have listened to woulda, coulda, shoulda for quite some time now. And board member asked me what the fire department policy was. So I decided to kill a bunch of birds with one stone and let everybody know it all at one time what the policy is. This way you can put an end to everything. I'd like to start by reading a paragraph out of the Essentials of Firefighting, Firefighter
My page 1.
1. It's in Chapter 1. It's Emergency Scene Safety. And it's taken from NFPA 1001
There's,
3-3.4
you kept one, Kate.
A and 4-4.2B, if someone wants to look it up. It says, upon arrival at the scene, the officer in charge has to decide whether it is safe and or feasible to attempt an emergency operation. The IC, which is Incident Commander, must decide whether the operation about to be undertaken requires rescuing victims or stopping property loss. The IC must decide when the risks involved are either great enough to warrant limiting the actions of the firefighting personnel. This may be a difficult decision to make, and the firefighters may feel frustrated because they cannot help a victim as much as they would like. It is necessary to weigh these feelings against the potential for firefighters becoming additional victims and the likelihood of the operation being successful. All firefighters must remember that they did not cause the emergency incident. They are not responsible for the victim being in that situation, and they are not obligated to sacrifice themselves in a heroic attempt to save the victim, especially not in an attempt to recover a body. In fact, it is both irresponsible and unprofessional for firefighters to take unnecessary risks that might result in their being incapacitated by an injury and therefore unable to perform the job for which they have been trained. The function of the fire rescue service is not to add victim to the situation. The IC's first priority must be firefighter safety. The second priority is the victim's safety. The IC should never choose a course of action that requires firefighters to take unnecessary risks. That being said, it is the policy of the fire department that no one will enter a burning structure until it is determined by the IC to be reasonably safe to do so. At present, there are 3 people capable of making that decision: Chief Todd, Captain David Todd, and myself, whichever one of us happens to be the IC. Under no circumstances will any individual enter an engulfed structure to save animals. If they do, there are 3 things that are going to happen. Number 1, they will be relieved of duty immediately. They can sit on the sideline while the rest of us fight the fire. Number 2, they will be sent to Kingman for drug testing. And number 3, they'll be dismissed from the fire department. And yes, I do have the power to do that with everybody but Jimmy Lee. And if he decides he needs to do that, to go into an engulfed building to save animals, then I'll just have to suggest to the board that he'd be sent in for a drug test and maybe a psychiatric evaluation. And I've heard the old song and dance about I only want to make sure our volunteers have the training they need to be safe. And if I thought there was an ounce of truth to that statement, I'd shed a happy tear. These are the same people complaining that the fire department did not show up and go into an engulfed building and save the dogs. I know that the loss of a family pet is a sad and painful experience. I personally love dogs. I cannot say the same about cats, but I love dogs. And I know some people consider pets as family or children, and I can sympathize with that. But to expect firefighters to risk their lives or possible injury to save animals is absurd. Some people seem to think that because a firefighter is wearing full turnout gear that they are 10 foot tall, bulletproof, and able to French kiss a dragon without getting scorched lips. The fact is that these suits are heat and fire resistant, not fireproof. They will burn like anything else. And my first priority as a IC is, after the incident is over, is for me and all of my people to be able to go home. And it's a hard thing to stand here and tell everybody that on a fire, if the building is engulfed, that Fido, Fluffy, or Polly the parrot is most likely going to die. But it's a whole lot easier for me to sit up here and tell you that than it is for me to tell a firefighter's family and a whole room full of insurance lawyers why I thought an animal was worth sending my people into danger. Now, if any member of the board, or anybody else for that matter, thinks that this policy is too harsh and needs to be changed, just let me know. And I will call a mandatory meeting of all the fire personnel and get everybody together at one time and let you explain to them why you think your pet's life is worth more than theirs. I doubt if you'll get a very warm reception, but you can try. Thank you.
An hour to get there.
Yeah.
I was there at the fire.
Please.
Everybody was already dead. No one asked them to run in there and go get the animals. They were already dead.
Please. Okay.
Good joke.
Yep. All right.
Got
Oh, the door decals for the new trucks and the old trucks that are all missing except for 2. Okay, they're $80 a set.
That's okay, they're dead.
They really wouldn't on the price.
I just hope they're not mistakes.
We're talking about the stickers and reflective stuff that's required on the trucks. New trucks, old trucks where they've fallen off and been actually burned off in one instance. The one that was burned off, I think, was on 6/28. Yeah. Truck got too close to the fire. So anyway, it's $80 a set.
All right, set 2
two.
Both sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently that's what- yeah.
And the total price is between, because they didn't, I guess you all didn't know how many you actually wanted. So I see here he wrote down between $500 and $600 for all the stickers.
And I mean, we got, I mean,
Some of them still have some, the new logo's slightly different, but
they still work.
yeah.
I think the engine, you were gonna leave them on the engine,
Yeah,
because
it's
it
the
has.
cubic inches of reflective material that's not on there.
That has to be on there. Okay.
And we do have reflective material on the back of one truck. We already installed that at no cost. So, wanna make a motion, or? Everybody hear that?
No,
Tell them.
you guys are talking to yourself.
That's what they do up there.
Thank you. All right, we're talking about the reflective.
I'm not in the mood
There's-
for people like you today, okay?
What
Stop
All
it.
right, whoa. Yeah.
Oh, well, they're snickering in the background about everything what people are saying, and we're sitting here quiet.
Please. It's difficult for some people, it's difficult for everybody. All right. Item at hand, which is E on new business. Reflective materials for the trucks. Some trucks are partial, some trucks got it burned off, and some trucks, the new trucks, need everything. So the bid comes in between $500 and $600. It's $80 a set, depending on how many we got. So it's going to be, like I say, the high number was $600, based on $80 a set. Everybody hear that? So basically, it's reflective material for the trucks.
And there has to be so much reflective material per truck, per size.
My turn to motion. I make a motion, we accept.
I'd like to second the motion.
Okay, I have no problem with it. I mean, it's gotta be done.
It's got to be done. And by the way, somebody looked up the old tickets, or by word of mouth, and what was it, 10 years ago they were purchased at twice that price?
Yep.
Different vendor, different price.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute, they're allowed to see.
The new reflective law from NFPA, I think it's 1901, it's all spelled out in cubic square inches and percentages. If the vehicle's 20 feet long, it's like 75% of the length, and how wide they are, what colors can be used. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there, but anything that's a new piece of apparatus will come from the vendors with yellow, red on the rear, diagonals pointing 45 degrees from center, and 6 inches wide for each stripe. Some of ours are only 4 inches wide because we had ordered the equipment or the material before that came out. So that's what they're going to be, is 4 inches. But they do have the 75% requirement of the cubic inches required. And we have trucks that didn't have it, just, like
Bare
4 or
minimum,
5.
if
4 or
we're
5,
lucky.
yeah,
Yeah.
cubic inches plus the lights.
And remembering also that the 550 is brand new, so it had
Nobody-
nothing. And we have the back covered, which you can see 5 miles away. Okay. You can-
All right. Yeah, all right, before we get into this and call it public, I got something to say, guys. There's been a lot of stuff put out, a lot of stuff going around. I'll tell everybody, all right? I'm proud of this fire department. I really am. They've come a long way, especially in the last few years. They've come a hell of a long way. Excuse my language, but I know a lot of you may not see it. I'm sorry, you know, I have no answers for, but that's something that we're trying to cure and correct. All right. This board has done more for this community in getting training and equipment and everything else than I'd venture to say I know within the last 8 years and probably within the last 20 years. Okay. I've been proud to serve on it. I'm still proud to serve on it. All right. I'm not leaving for any other reason. I kind of believe in term limits. All right. I've done my term. I've done my tour of duty. It's time for me to go. All right. And I thank everybody and you guys, the department, the board, and the community. I thank you guys. I appreciate it for letting me serve. Thank you. Oh, no, I got one more to go. That's gonna be an easy one. I'm in and out.
No, you can't be out that fast. We gotta do stuff to you.
Okay, now we're into the call to the public. Joyce?
Make it all fair.
Yeah.
Here, let me put this about.
All right.
My name is Joyce Hancock. I've lived here quite some time, and I'd just like to review a little history. 20-some years ago, our ladies group began. There were only 6 or 8 of us. Our first few years, it was a winter thing. There were snowbirds, you know. Our use of the buildings was a couple of hours a week. As requested by board member Guthrie, we donated $1 each per week. The space was unfinished. We brought our own drinks and snacks, and our name changed many times until some wag dubbed us the Stitch and Bitch. It fit, it stuck. That's who we are now. We, however, are not just a bunch of old ladies. And over the years, as a group, we've done many things. We finished that unfinished area with the help of our husbands, donations from people who cared. Morris Tile of Kingman donated the tile for the kitchen, meeting room, and office. River Palms donated great commercial carpet for our meeting room. The price was free. It was right. The only complaint we ever got were from people who never, ever helped us. Stitch and Bitch then purchased paint, did the painting, and rented a tile cutter to make sure the floor was done. We got it done. We have a great group of artistic people: quilters, stitchers, painters, potters, woodworkers. We began doing raffles and sponsoring craft fairs. Our proceeds purchased tables, chairs, and a vacuum, coffee and paper goods for general use. We work on community potlucks. When on the board, Mr. Guthrie also furnished his famous baked beans. Donations of canned goods and non-perishables for food boxes for the needy locals is part of that program. A thorough kitchen cleaning is done annually. We are a part of some school projects. It's an independent school district, grades kindergarten through 5. We have 21 students in our school, and they're good students. We help by donating school supplies, box tops, and rewards and scholarships. We help with the Trunk and Treats Halloween project, and we've done Christmas socks and gifts for kids at Christmas, at the Christmas potluck. We've even got Santa to come by on his Harley. We tried to get a Girl Scout troop, but there just was no public support. We worked with Friends for Yucca to get community info on our water tower. What small town does not have their name on their water tower? Well, now we do, in spite of all the static at that time. We put together boxes for the troops, personal items, gifts, reading and writing materials, and phones for our troops to call home. We sponsored area cleanups when the county allowed it, with the ladies doing lunch and cold drinks for the workers. Part of that cleanup was Frontage Road, water tank area, and cemeteries. The American Legion is now involved in some of the projects that have been going on. This history tells you that as a group, we care about our community. We participate. We are... Okay, and we are involved. Thank you. That's it.
You made it. You made it. Actually, you had seconds to speak. I keep it honest.
All right, Deborah.
In the letter, there does seem to be some misunderstanding, so I did bring the pictures again to show this is the
the fire engine right here that used to be in the Buckeye Station, along with the red one, the fire, first responder brush truck that was in there at the open house. This engine here is the one that I said does not run. This engine
Excuse
right
me,
here, it's
Deborah.
not there.
You gotta
Oh,
speak
she
to the
was
chairman.
filming us. I was showing her the picture.
Yeah, speak to the chairman, please.
Okay. Well, do I show her the picture since she's filming it?
She can see it.
Okay. All right. This is the fire engine that I said does not run. So that no one misunderstands, it's this one, not the one that was at the fire station when we had our open house. This one right here. Well, they turned that on while I was speaking.
In fairness to you, please talk here so you don't miss your time.
Yeah, but that's okay. And I noticed on here that I can only speak about one thing. Is that correct? Okay. So I guess that's what I'm speaking about. I don't.
No.
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 Afterwards,
After
you
the
can.
meeting, you can.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Chuck. All right.
No, you gotta, yeah.
And Brenda's on you.
I have
You're gonna have
laryngitis.
to
Write it down.
Okay.
So if I can't read the whole thing, Debbie's gonna
She
read
can, Mom, she, if she wants to, she can, you know.
Well,
That's up to you.
much-
You won't be able to hear it because the air's on.
Talk loud. Oh, you got a thing.
She has
on.
You
laryngitis.
got laryngitis. I mean, you want to?
Well, I'll read it, but is anyone going to hear it?
Yeah.
I hope so.
It wasn't on a minute ago. when
Well, they
everybody
can
else
hear
was
that, but can you hear
The
it?
temperature
on
comes
that?
up.
Oh, there, it's gone
That's what I'm
now.
saying. It's all thermostatically controlled.
Okay, Brenda, is it starting now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go
Brenda,
ahead.
Brenda has laryngitis. I guess I'll read it for her. I attended the meeting January with my husband John, Father James Eccles, Patty Fashing, Deputy Grant, Don Guthrie, Stephanie Doyle, Jack and Nancy Rogerson, and many others. I do not believe we are suffering due to hearing loss. When Irene Techman leaned up in her seat on my speaking time and said, "Get over it and move on," Paul Ferguson also said statements to the fact that it was our fault for losing everything due to my inadequate water supply, and we will use this as an example, meaning losing our home and animals. 3 statements of harsh remarks to someone who has lost everything. There was a complete lack of moral ethics, no compassion, and concern, and pure stupidity. Truth is, there needs to be laws governing family and friends from monopolizing our tax funds for their personal gains. This fire station has no single caring soul, or, for that matter, anyone smart or intelligent enough to be a board member as of yet. For the record, Irene Techman, please keep my name of anything you have a part of. The letter circulating from Jack is the honest truth, not lies like yours. What is the point?
Yeah, they're allowed to do that.
Please, please.
What is the point of a fire station when you have to supply your own water? No one put anything out, and all you get is pissed off. A letter of apology from the board and Irene might be a solution to the compensation for the hurt you have caused my family. Thank you.
That's it.
That's it on this, and that's it for me.
That's
Go
fine,
ahead.
I can just.
You have anything?
Still recording.
All right, I got a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, second.
All right. Adjourn this meeting, I believe, 1858.
Chuck, if you remember your question, now's the time.
Thank you, guys.
I never heard what she was saying about that fire.
Did you hear?
Oh.
Does it need repaired?
No, it was actually, I think it was one of them that went for salvage. But
It was,
Yeah.
I'll tell you right, it was out there before, okay? And then when we didn't have anybody to man it, They actually, you know,
It didn't function though, did it?
no,
Thank
it
you.
did up to a point. And then, once
It
we got
couldn't
somebody to
respond to
man
a
the
fire.
station, you know, then we got different stuff out there, okay?
But
And that's what that's all about.
in the red responder truck that was there at the open house was there at that time also. So these two were the two. The red truck. Yeah, I never said anything about the red truck. I never said anything other than the white truck didn't function, wouldn't respond to a call, and it wouldn't have. I mean, there's a picture of it right here.
I didn't hear
Yeah.
a word said from you.
Yeah, but the red truck is out there.
We had help, but I came here, Laura. It was awesome.
Yes, they do. I've had a fire in my house.